Leafs Nation, are you tired? Are you absolutely, utterly exhausted by the endless cycle of defensive questions, the nagging feeling that our blue line, despite valiant efforts, just isn't quite there? For years, we've yearned for that truly dynamic, game-breaking defenseman who can not only shut down opponents, but also ignite our offense in the back end. We've seen flashes, we had good players, but that elite, undeniable force has remained elusive. Well, what if I told you that the winds of change are blowing and a monumental opportunity has just emerged from the Garden State? A veteran blue liner, a proven offensive powerhouse, a player who could fundamentally reshape our defensive core and turn into a true weapon, is reportedly on the trade block. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, yes, our Toronto Maple Leafs, are reportedly among the teams kicking the tires. Could this be the move, the audacious, game-changing acquisition that finally elevates our blue line from good enough to dominant? Let's unpack this potentially seismic shift. The Toronto Maple Leafs, despite a busy offseason that has seen some strategic roster adjustments, are clearly not done adding players before the start of the 2025-26 regular season. General Manager Brad Treliving and the entire front office understand that if this team is truly to contend for the Stanley Cup, every single facet of the roster must be optimized. And one player that they could potentially add, a player who fits a crucial need, is an offensively dynamic defenseman, a blue liner who could single-handedly change the entire look and feel of our defensive unit. This isn't just about adding depth. It's about adding a legitimate difference maker, a piece that could unlock new dimensions for our entire team. Down south, in the bustling hockey market of New Jersey, the Devils are reportedly looking to offload a significant asset, veteran defenseman Dougie Hamilton. The primary driver behind this potential move? His contract. Hamilton, a highly sought-after free agent a few years back, was signed to a somewhat bloated deal that carries a hefty $9 million AAV, with 3 years still remaining on the contract. For the Devils, a team with promising young defensemen like Simon Nemec and Seamus Casey emerging, players who are capable of replacing a significant portion of Hamilton's offensive output, but on their much more cap-friendly rookie contracts. It makes immense financial sense to consider spending that substantial money elsewhere. This isn't a reflection of Hamilton's talent, but rather a strategic cap decision for the Devils. And this strategic decision has opened a tantalizing door for other teams, including, most intriguingly, the Toronto Maple Leafs. According to a recent report from James Murphy of RG Media, a source with connections across the league, the Leafs are indeed one of several teams who have poked around to see if they can make a deal for Hamilton work. Murphy's report included a direct quote from an NHL executive source, shedding light on the Leafs' intentions. Teams are calling on Hamilton now, the executive told RG Media. I heard the Leafs looked into him. They're looking into multiple options for their blue line, and a lot of them have offensive flair. That's their strength. So there's a common thread with their trade targets right now, and Hamilton fits the bill. This isn't just idle speculation. This is confirmation from a credible source that the Leafs are actively pursuing an offensive upgrade on defense. It aligns perfectly with what we've been saying. The team needs more offensive punch from the back end. The report also listed other teams reportedly interested in taking offensively gifted right-handed defensemen from the Devils: the Dallas Stars, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Utah Mammoth. This signals that there's a market for Hamilton, but also that Toronto is firmly in the conversation. For Toronto, though, this potential acquisition will be adding something that is desperately, unequivocally needed. Beyond the brilliance of Morgan Reilly, the Leafs' blue line, while competent, has often been described as fairly one-note. We have defensemen who can stay stationary, read plays well, block a shot or two, and then break the puck out of their own zone. And while those are valuable traits, there's a whole lot of that, and not enough of the dynamic, offensive creativity that can truly separate a team in today's NHL. Adding Dougie Hamilton to the mix would give them that missing piece, that explosive element from the blue line that has been sorely lacking. It would solidify the blue line to being an undeniable advantage Toronto has over other teams for the first time in years. Imagine the power play with Hamilton's shot and vision, or the 5-on-5 offense with another legitimate threat from the point. And let's be clear, it's not like Hamilton has lost a step. Despite recent injury concerns that have limited his games played, his production remains elite when he's on the ice. Just last season, in 64 games played, he scored 9 goals and tallied 40 points, while averaging just 1951 of ice time. That ice time average is significant. It's the first time he has averaged fewer than 20 minutes a game since the 2018-19 season, suggesting that perhaps a slightly reduced workload could keep him healthier and even more effective. And all of that offense, while maybe not being the most offensively sound blue liner every single shift, still makes Hamilton's team demonstrably better than their opponents while he is on the ice. The underlying numbers back this up consistently. The 32-year-old has had just one season in his entire 13-year career where he was below 50% in on-ice underlying numbers, shot attempts, expected goals, etc., meaning his teams consistently generate more chances and control play when he's out there. He drives offense, pure and simple. Now, for the big question, the elephant in the room that always accompanies any potential blockbuster trade. What would it cost? This isn't just about what the Devils want in terms of assets. It's also about how the Maple Leafs can make the money work. Toronto currently has just under $5 million in available cap space, and that's without re-signing restricted free agent Nick Robertson, who will command a new deal. Hamilton's $9 million AAV is a significant hurdle. To absorb that contract, the Maple Leafs would almost certainly have to move out some significant salary. We're talking about players like David Kampf, Calle Jarnkrok, or even Max Domi being involved in this deal, or in a separate transaction, to create the necessary cap room. This isn't a simple one-for-one trade. It's a multifaceted puzzle that requires intricate cap management. And that's not even starting on what the Devils would demand in return for a player of Hamilton's caliber, even with the contract concerns. Maybe the acquisition costs in terms of draft picks or prospects will be incredibly low if the acquiring team takes on the full contract, but that's just guesswork at this stage. It's a complex negotiation, but one that could yield immense rewards. This is something truly significant to look out for in the coming weeks and months. The possibility of adding Dougie Hamilton, despite the financial gymnastics required, can add a whole new offensive dynamic to this team, a dimension that has been sorely missed. It's a bold move, a high-stakes gamble, but one that could pay off handsomely by transforming our blue line from a point of occasional concern to a genuine strength. Imagine the offensive zone entries, the point shots, the power play quarterbacking that Hamilton brings. This isn't just about getting better. It's about becoming truly elite. So, Leafs Nation, what's your take on the Dougie Hamilton rumors? Is he the offensive defenseman we've been dreaming of, even with that hefty contract? What players would you be willing to move to make this deal happen? Let us know your thoughts, your hopes, and your wildest trade scenarios in the comment section below. If this news has you buzzing with excitement for the upcoming season, don't forget to smash that like button. Share this video with every single Leafs fan you know. And make sure you're subscribed to our channel for all the breaking news, in-depth analysis, and passionate discussions that keep you connected to your team. Until next time, stay passionate, stay hopeful, and let's see if the Leafs can pull off this game-changing move.